about that pro swim series, wow, those times were fast. Olympic trials and the Olympics are just going to be insane. I cannot wait. But we'll talk about pro swim series in just a second. We got a couple of housekeeping items. First of all, like and subscribe, please and thank you. It means so much to me. Second, we just dropped hibiscus suits at fightswim.com. Go check them out. Go get yourself one. Awesome design. I mean, look at that thing. Oh, it's beautiful. Also, please and thank you. So let's talk about Pro Swim Series. Just so many great events to choose from. For me, the highlight was Kate Douglas, 200 breaststroke, almost getting her American record with a 2:19 and blowing away the field that included Lily King, by the way, by 5 seconds. And you're going, wait a minute, whoa, Tori Huske, she almost broke the world record in the 100 fly. Are you kidding me? No, I'm not kidding you. Look, between a 100 fly and a 200 breaststroke, I'm always going to go with the 200 breaststroke. Not just because I'm a breaststroker, but because that event is awful. It is the hardest event out there, and she freaking crushed it, and the whole field, it was awesome. But yes, huge props to Tori Huske, amazing swim. Speaking of 100 fly, men's side, a couple of things. One, a tie between Caleb Dressel and Hubert Kos, and we're going to talk about Hubie in just a second because he had a really interesting take on a post-race interview. But also big props to Mavality here, who in our little prediction game suit giveaway guessed that Caleb Dressel would win it with a 51.43. I mean, almost. He went 51.41 in prelims, so really close, and then 50.8 at night. Now, Hubert Kos. First of all, let's take a look at his comments in his post-race interview.
So I'm probably the greatest IMer if you take out the breaststroke, but obviously, you do have breaststroke in the IM, sadly, so.
Okay, couple things here. First of all, if you are going to claim to be the greatest IMer ever, you should do both the 200 and the 400. He really doesn't do the 400. He's very good at it, but he doesn't really do it. Last year, he did it twice, I think, in 2023. So let's just look at his claim that he's maybe the greatest 200 IMer ever. That one doesn't even come close. His best time of 156.9 right now ranks him 16th in the world. 16th, so not quite first. And when you look at the overall, like in the history of the 200 IM, how does that sit? Still not even close. Ryan Lochte, 154 flat. When you compare just the breaststroke legs between him and Hubert Kos, Lochte was 33.0, Hubert Kos 35.0. You knock 2 seconds off of Hubert Kos's time, that only gets you to 154.9. And again, not even top 4 in the history of the event. So he's got some work to do. And you would think that a guy with work to do might actually, race a breaststroke event every now and then. And if you're not going to at least do the 200, which I get, it's a terrible event, at least do the 100, but he doesn't even do those at meets. And that's something he's going to have to start doing if he wants to be the greatest ever. That's not going to happen this summer in Paris, but the guy, give it to him. The guy has talent. He's phenomenal. He could be one of the best or the best ever if he puts in that work. Last thing before we get into today's programming, I just got to call out this awesome, I don't know what you call it, like phenomenon that happened at the Pro Swim Series. Take a look at this. B final of the women's 400 IM. This never happens in swimming. There are no stats on this, so I can't tell you like how often it never happens. But it's got to be like 5 times in the history of this sport. And if you're still not getting what I'm seeing, look to the left there. Lane and rank. Lane 1, first place. Lane 2, second place. All the way down to lane 8, 8th place. You gotta enjoy the little things in life, right? Okay, one more thing, just one more before we get into the main event. I had so much fun with the little prediction game for the Pro Swim Series that we're gonna do it on me for the meet that I am swimming this weekend. I am doing the 100 breaststroke long course on Saturday. Comment below with the time you think I will go. It has to be the exact time, and you can have one of anything in the store, whether it is just a cap or the swag, which is just an awesome backpack, the best backpack out there, or a suit, whether it's a suit that is currently out there or one that is in the vault and you remember it and you want it, it is yours if you can comment below by 9 a.m. Central Time on Saturday with my exact time. Give you even a little bit of a hint to make this easy. My best time, 104.12. Last year at this time, I was like 105.80, I think. So there you go, a little bit of guidance. Good luck to you. All right, now the main event. From time to time, I like to share my conversations that I have with the swimmers I coach remotely who are scattered around the world. And today we are going to visit in with Nui, who is in Thailand. He is a breaststroker who is trying to swim different, to swim faster. Here we go.
Let's see together like what is my point, what is my current status, all right? Like what I don't know, you maybe you see it like the last time, maybe you see it different, but the result is of course very different.
Is it smooth on your side?
No, but don't worry, I because I know exactly what it looks like.
You were there.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just start from the beginning with the dive. You you notice how when you go in, there's kind of a big splash. And do you see how low your feet are relative to your hands?
Mm-hmm.
Such that right after your hands are entering the water, your thighs and your legs are hitting very close to the same time.
I see.
And so that think of the dive this way. When you're a professor, right?
Yeah.
Of which subject? I forgot.
Computer science.
Okay, well, close enough. Um, so I was thinking maybe physics or something, but so when you're going off the blocks, right?
Yeah.
You've got a force traveling through the air, and it's
Mm-hmm.
entering the water. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now inertia, right?
Yeah.
Okay, law of inertia. So as your hands start to hit, right, your body starts to slow down. Okay,
Yep.
but the rest of your body is still moving through the air. So that inertia, right? Now, if the legs go too high, then they travel over the body,
Uh-huh.
and bad things happen. Okay,
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
they
that's the last time.
travel to what's that?
That's the last time because I get stuck at the bottom of the
Uh,
Okay, go on, please.
if if the legs are too low to the
Uh-huh.
hands,
Yeah, it
then
breaks.
then everything kind of breaks, and the
Yeah.
legs, they break into the body, and they stay low, and they all hit at the same time. Okay,
No.
you
Yeah.
want the legs a little bit higher, such
Yeah.
that to make it perfect, the legs are still traveling forward, and they push the hands, the arms, the head through that inertia, through that wall. Okay, because those want to stay in motion, right? So they help push the body, drive the body through
Yeah.
that small hole. But
Okay.
yours were so low, you went through a big hole, and you
Okay.
see the splash, and that slowed your momentum significantly.
Okay.
What works best, in my opinion, my experience, is when they say take your mark, you reach down. Well, before they say take your mark, I tense up my lats right here, so
Uh-huh.
I flex them to
Mm-hmm.
get them ready. And then when they say take your mark, I reach down and I'm pulling on the block
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of tension. And so
Okay.
I'm totally flexed out. And then
Okay. More
and then I
like
go,
ready to launch. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Okay.
I used to be relaxed and loose holding on to the block. But I've found that being tense, just like when you're lifting, when you're doing a deadlift, when you're doing a
Understand
deadlift,
perfectly. Yeah.
you want to bend the bar, you want to be tight
Yeah.
through your body, through your lats before you
Uh-huh.
go. You don't want to be
Yeah.
loose, because then you hurt
Mm-hmm.
yourself. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, got it.
Tension, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. On your turns,
Yeah.
you're coming up way too high.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know that.
A good turn should take a great turn should take 1 second, just 1.0, 1.0.
I see.
A good turn is 1.1, 1.2. Um, a great turn is zero point 0.9 to 1.0 from the time your hands touch to when your feet leave. Anything slower than 1.2 is you got to work
Okay.
on it. Just looking at the clock that you have going in the upper left-hand corner, that turn at the 50 right there looks like it was about 1.5.
I think it's close. Yeah. It's close to that. I think I record about that. Yeah.
So so you're losing, if you do that 3 times, you're losing about a second on your race that you don't need to lose. If you just speed up your turns.
I
But
know.
what
Yeah.
you're doing, let's talk about why you're slow. It's not just that
Yes.
you're coming up high. It's you're swinging your hip, the side of your hip, okay,
Mm-hmm.
into the
Mm-hmm.
wall this way,
Uh-huh.
okay?
So
You're
it should
not
slide in, right?
a good turn is driven by the knees. It's all
Knee.
about knee speed. When you touch, you have to react with your knees. Boom.
Okay.
And you want to slide. It used to be like 20 years ago, they used to teach us slide your knees straight in and drop straight back.
Uh-huh.
But today you'll notice that the best swimmers, when you look at them, it looks like they kind of go sideways, like they go like this
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
instead of like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's still driven, and so that makes you think, oh, they're moving their hips in like this, but they're
Mm-hmm.
not. They're moving their knees in. But what's happening is their knees come in, and as
Uh-huh.
they come in, they go to the side this way.
Okay.
Okay. So it's still and then the hips follow the knees, but it's
Okay.
not hip driven.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So that
Uh-huh.
they're coming in and it's here, boom. And the reason
Yeah.
is I don't know if we talked about this, but the strongest push that you can get off the wall is when you are facing down the pool. Okay?
Yeah.
If you're doing a 25 for time and you're doing it from a push, the
Mm-hmm.
slowest way to do it is to look at the wall and drop backwards. The
So,
fastest way to do it is to turn your body around and drop and go.
uh-huh.
Looking at where you're going. Okay. That's the
Okay.
fastest, that's the strongest push you can get. And so the reason we turn our body to the side as we come in is because as we drop down, we want to be as close as we can to getting that kind of a push where we are squared
Yeah.
up and our chest is down. We're not pushing off on our side,
Okay.
which is often what would happen in the old, like 20 years ago, when you drop straight back,
Uh-huh.
you're kind of pushing off on your side and going to your stomach.
Okay.
But this way, you can still swing the knees in and get the speed of the knees going, and you get the benefit of being more on your stomach when you push off the wall. All right, let's look at your stroke.
Okay.
Um,
The
now,
last lap is of course I will go 11 strokes. Like,
yeah.
the first three lap is like 8 strokes.
Well, you always want to look, in my opinion, you always want to look at the last length because that tells you where you're weakest. That
Yeah,
tells
exactly.
you what your stroke really needs to work on.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you look at this last length, okay, there are a couple things that stand out. One, you're a little bit low. Okay, you're a little bit low in the water. Your
Mm-hmm.
head, your chin is barely coming out. All right. You got like that much space to the water. Okay. You're getting tired. Um, your hand speed has slowed way down. Breaststroke
Oh,
today, breaststroke today is all about hand speed. And when you come together, as you start coming together, you want to accelerate and shoot those hands out very quickly, very explosively.
exactly.
And you're losing that here at the end of your race.
Yeah, I saw that exactly.
Now, the biggest thing, bigger than all of that, is your hips are very low in the water here. In the beginning of this race, we'll look back. The beginning of this race, your hips, they're already starting off the beginning of the race a little bit low. But by the end of the race, the last 25, they're very low and you're swimming uphill. Your chest, your shoulders, they're higher than your hips are. And it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to see from this angle, but you can see it here. Even on the second 25, you're not getting your hips up high in the water. I can't see your suit breaking the surface. And by the time you get to the last length of your swim, there, the zoom in is better. When they zoomed in, that helps. You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
really
exactly.
see
Yeah,
here, like you're not pressing your chest to help get your hips up high in the water. And so as a result, you've got two things that are feeding off of each other. Okay. When you shoot forward, and you sweep out, there should be a press there. So you're kind of pushing the water out of the way. Okay. So you push it out of the way. And this press helps you then pop. But it also, that press helps get your hips up.
yeah,
And so it all feeds itself, because by
yeah,
pressing, it's easier to pop. And remember, I said you're a little bit low, right?
yeah.
So that press is going to help you get up. It's also going to help your hips stay up. And when your hips stay up, then it's easier for you for your upper body to get up. When your hips are dragging, your body is pulling dead weight. Your upper body is trying to pull dead weight behind it to get up. But if the hips
Mm-hmm.
are already high, then it's easy for your body to come up because the hips are already up there. Your body
Yeah,
wants to
yeah.
be up there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being dragged down.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
I want to point out something very important here. So you said this is not smooth on your end, right? You're seeing skipping.
No, no, it's okay. It's perfect.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. So I want you to look at your first stroke here. Okay. Pay very close attention. Boom. And then do you see how you change the first stroke to the second stroke?
No, what is
Look,
that?
look again. Look very closely. Pay Look at your first stroke, compare it to your second stroke. Okay. So I'll tell you what to look for.
Okay.
In your first stroke, you're coming up much higher than
Uh-huh.
you do in your second stroke. In addition to that, your stroke rate, your tempo picks up significantly on your second stroke. Your hand speed picks up. Your first stroke, you put a pause in. You came up and you got kind of high, which was nice, much higher than the rest of the strokes. But in doing that, you had a pause in your hand speed. And so what happened
Oh,
was you came up high, you paused a little bit, and that slowed you down because in breaststroke, obviously we have to come up, but coming up slows us down. And so we have to get through that very quickly. That's why our
I
hand
see.
speed is important. We have to get the hands together quickly, get them out so that we get out of the bad position, which is up here, quickly. Now, you got up higher because of wall speed. that push off the wall helped you get elevated. And then
Mm-hmm.
the pause that you put in when you didn't bring your hands together and threw quickly, that killed your wall speed. Okay. And
Ah,
so if you have to, and sometimes, like I used to have this problem too, where the first stroke would be very high, but it wouldn't be a very good continuation of the wall speed. And then the second and the third stroke, I would be much better. That's where you have to work, is capturing the wall speed, letting it help you, but not losing out on the hand
ah.
speed. So look again, look.
Yeah, I think I got your point. When you mentioned, I realized it right away.
So
The
you'll get up, but you stop, and
Yeah,
then your hands get a little
I
quicker.
see. And the elite guy that I just mentioned to you before is right on the white cap.
Oh, okay.
It's the first time ever that he lost.
Oh,
And I beat his national record by 0.05.
oh. Okay, so here again, the dive is almost really good, but the legs are just a little
Yes, I saw
low,
that. Exactly. Yeah.
like a couple inches. Now, the here's the hard thing about a 25. Your adrenaline is telling you that you have to like speed things up because it's so short. And you
Uh-huh.
kind of do, like it should come very close to spinning, but you still have to have some patience. You still have to execute very well. And so, like in the beginning right there, you went right into your dolphin kick. As soon as you hit, you went right into your dolphin kick, and then down into your pull down. Boom.
Yeah. I mean, like in this race, it's like I feel like everything is so like I was only afraid like he's gonna go in front of me. He's gonna go in front of me, something like I was well aware of this guy, like so I feel like get up, swim, something like that. I just because I came up so short. I mean, the pool out is short.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. Um, 12, wait, was it 12 strokes? Um, I think it was 12 strokes.
I feel like and I'm not the sinking is not proper. Like the between the arm and leg, it's like it just go by itself, something like to me actually, and it's
Yeah,
not like it.
so you were 12 strokes, and you definitely did not need to be more than 11. You probably should be shooting for 10, but to do 10 and go faster, you have to be a little bit more patient with your dive, okay? But to be more patient with your dive, you have to get those legs up a little bit. You have to do a better dive,
But yeah,
because if you do a bad dive, then you have to hurry things up
yeah,
because you slowed
exactly.
down.
Yeah,
So it's a little bit of, chicken or the egg here. Like we've got to get the dive better so that you can
I
ride
can
it
take
a little
advantage
bit
of the dive
longer.
better. Yeah,
Yeah, you got
yeah.
to ride it just a little longer before you do that dolphin kick. Um, the pull down was okay. The kick forward was okay. You could get more out of your pull down by doing more upper body work in the gym.
Okay, that's another question actually.
But the issue that you said about your stroke, kind of being off, well, that's because your tempo is too fast. And
Oh,
as you're swimming this, going back, I said this in the 100, um, you're swimming uphill in this. Okay, so when you're shooting your hands
yeah,
forward,
yeah.
you're kind of your hips are low, and so as you're
Uh-huh.
shooting forward, think of this is a little bit of an exaggeration, but it helps to think of it this way.
I know.
As you're shooting, you're kind of shooting up, and it's almost as if you're trying to defy the laws of gravity and go towards the scoreboard. So you see the score. It's like you're trying to go here. That's like it, that's what it looks like. You're telling your body, like, I want to go up there. I want to go up there. And so your hips are down and your hands are kind of up and you're trying to go that
Yeah.
way, which you can't do. Um, you want, I know this sounds silly, but you want to go forward, not
Yeah. No.
up. Um,
Yeah.
and so you've got to get those hips up, and when the hips come up, your hands will be shooting more forward. Okay, so you'll
Yeah.
come up, your hips will start higher. So when you
Yeah.
come up, your body will be a little bit more level. It won't be like this. It'll be more
Uh-huh.
level. Come up, and then when you shoot forward, you'll have your hips behind you, pushing you forward. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
towards the pad and not
Yeah.
towards the
Yeah. Yeah. I
sign.
got your exactly.
Some ideas to help you uh, with your hips and all of this. I would do some work where you just hold a kickboard out in front of you
Mm-hmm.
at the bottom of the kickboard. You hold it,
Mm-hmm.
and every kick that you do, you first lift your head. So you lift your head, and then you do a kick, and you put your head back down, just like breaststroke,
Okay.
but no arms. And when you do this, the only thing that you worry about is after you put, as you put your head down, you press the kickboard. You press into the kickboard, press it forward with your chest,
Mm-hmm.
and feel your butt cheeks break the surface without
Okay.
kicking down. You don't want to kick down to make it happen. You still want
Uh-huh.
to kick back.
Okay. Okay.
So many people make the mistake of kicking down to get the hips up. Make sure
Uh-huh.
you use the chest. It's a little bit difficult because you have the kickboard out in front.
Yeah.
And you can do it without a
I, I,
kickboard
I,
too.
I, I think I got your point. I,
You
I,
don't
I
have to
I
have a
can see that.
kickboard.
Yeah.
You can do it with just your hands or with paddles. You can have paddles out front.
Oh, okay.
That'll
Okay.
kind of give you something to push on,
Yeah. Yeah.
but not like the kickboard so buoyant. Um,
Yeah.
you can do very basic breaststroke where the only thing you're worried about working on is pressing your chest and getting your hips up. So you don't worry about
Mhm.
hand speed. You don't worry about coming up high.
Okay.
None of this. You just come together. You lift up. You breathe. You go forward. And as you go
Mhm.
forward, you
Mhm.
press into the
Yeah.
sweep, and you feel your hips come up.
Yeah.
Very basic breaststroke.
Yeah.
But one of the some speed work that you can do that ties it all together um, is work with. Do you have a parachute?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have and you have a stretch cord?
I can. Yeah. I have.
Okay. And you have fins, short fins.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there's some work you can do with fins, parachute, stretch cord that can help you get those hips up and work on your hand speed. Contrast training, what you can do is put the cord on, put the belt around your waist,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, and try to have the cord anchored to a high point above the water,
Uh-huh. Okay.
as high as you can, not
Okay.
onto it, not the wall, not the lane rope, not even the block. But if there's
Okay. Got it.
something on the wall at the pool that's
Okay.
like 6 feet up,
Okay.
then that will help pull on your hips a little bit and pull
Uh-huh.
them up.
Okay.
And what you do is you go out to the middle of the pool with the cord on until there's a lot of tension on the cord. Okay,
Yeah.
and out there you lay flat and you do 3 strokes very fast. 1, 2, 3, just pulling. Okay, and you take about 5 seconds. You want to stay out there so you don't drift back. You don't come back to the wall. So you go 1, 2, 3, and then you kind of scull a little bit for
Uh-huh.
a few seconds to take a break, and then you do it again 1, 2, 3, and you do it a
Okay.
third. So it's 3 times, 3 strokes. Um, After those 3 strokes, those 3 rounds of 3 strokes, you stay out there You don't come back to the wall, but you can hold on to the lane rope and catch your breath for like 30 seconds. And
Okay.
then you go again, but now you use your legs and you do 5 strokes. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you do
With
that
leg and
twice.
hand, arm
So
and
yeah,
leg.
you do your kick, you do your breaststroke kick. So the first one, it's just arms. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Think of it as blocks. There's
Okay.
4 blocks. The first block is 3 sets of 3 pulls.
Mm-hmm.
And the second block is 2 sets of about 5 strokes, full strokes.
Okay.
And you're trying to go tempo. 1, 2, 3, just like in here.
Mm-hmm.
After the second block, you can come back to the wall. Okay. And you can take like maybe 45 seconds or a minute rest. And you take the cord off, take the belt off,
Mm-hmm.
and you put your parachute on with your fins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you still don't push off the wall. You kind of drift out, you're flat on the
Yeah.
surface, and you go 5 pulls with a dolphin kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Uh-huh.
and then easy to the other end. And then you
Okay.
come back. It's the third block is 225s like that.
Uh-huh.
It's a dead start on the water, 5 pulls with a dolphin kick,
Mm-hmm.
and then you do it again, come back. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's very little rest. So you do the 5 pulls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You swim easy to the wall, and you get like 5 seconds rest, and you do it again.
Okay.
Dead start, no push, and 5 strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a dolphin kick.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can take another 30 seconds rest and you take the chute off, the parachute. So now you just have fins, only fins.
Uh-huh.
And for the 4th block of work, of speed work, you
Uh-huh.
go 425s where you push off the wall and you go right into 5 strokes with a dolphin kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Easy to the wall, 5 seconds rest, 4 times.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And this is all about hand speed and high hips. And what you're doing is you're getting more and more assistance as you go through. So in the beginning, you're fighting the cord and you just have your
Mm-hmm.
arms. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In the
Mm-hmm.
second block, you get to use your feet and do breaststroke kick. You go 1,
Mm-hmm.
2, 3, 4, 5. So you're getting a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
help from your legs. In the
Mm-hmm.
third block, you get rid of the high tension, the cord. You get rid of the cord, and now you just have a parachute, but you get fins.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's getting a little easier as you go. In the third block, you're doing the 225s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then in the 4th block, you have no resistance whatsoever. It's just fins, and you take off and fly.
Uh-huh.
So it's this contrast of building up the strength in the beginning because
Mm-hmm.
you're fighting all that tension.
Yeah.
And then you let that strength loose and you just take off.
Uh-huh. 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 Got your point.
So all that kind of work is really good for hand speed and getting your hips up. Even if you just want to do like even more, a very simple set of 12 25s with a cord attached high to the walls to help you pull your hips up. And
Mm-hmm.
you do, sprint to 15 meters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
12 of those on a minute or a minute 15.
Mm-hmm.
I find that
Okay.
very helpful.
Yeah. Okay. For
You wanted to ask me about dryland.
actually, I want to. There are 2 things I want to ask. I mean, if you can allocate some time. The first thing is like, yeah, the dry land. Yeah, definitely. And like what supplement, strength training that I can do. And the second thing is actually maybe more important at this point. I I won't have the energy to even actually to my 50 is like your 100, and my 100 is like your 200. What would be the suggested strategy for the long course?
Oh, for long course.
Yeah,
Well, long course is
because
like a different.
The example I show you is for the short course, but I'm preparing for the long course in the
Yeah,
next 2
yeah,
months and 4 months. Yeah.
yeah. long course swimming is like a different sport. It's long course is so much harder and so much different than short course.
Mm-hmm.
With long course, you're gonna have to prepare your biceps and your arms for being able to have fast hands
Mm.
for many more strokes. And
Mm-hmm.
and so one of the things that you have to do is to find ways to replicate the number of strokes you're going to take in long course.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
I'm aware of that.
if you're taking 10 strokes in short course, you're going to be taking 25, 26, 27, whatever strokes in long course.
Would it help? Let's say like I have long course to train.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah,
Would
that definitely helps. That's huge. Um, and one of the things you can do, a set that a coach gave me recently that I think is good. Um, it's it's 30, kind of like 30-25. It's 30-50s, and it was with fins. It was with
okay.
fins.
Spin,
What's that?
spin for breaststroke.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because again, all about the arms, making sure
Uh-huh.
the arms can go.
Oh, so so
Yeah,
so so so
a
the
little bit.
body.
You're not doing a lot.
Okay, okay.
It's just to help you get the rhythm and the tempo.
So
And
so
yeah, and to make it easier for you to be able to get the strokes in. Because when you do
okay.
full breaststroke is very tiring. But if you put fins on, you can go a little bit longer and you can train up your arms longer
I see. I see.
than if you're doing
So
full
so let's say
breaststroke.
for that fin is a dolphin kick or the breaststroke kick.
Dolphin.
I see. Okay, okay. I
In
got
this
it. I got it.
example, in this example.
Okay.
Now, you may not be able to do 30. So when I did this, it was 30-50s long course on 50. Okay. Now, maybe you're not ready to do 30-50s on 50. But break it up and find what you are ready for. So maybe it's three sets of 10-50s
Okay.
on you want a kind of a tight interval, like something that's no more than 15 seconds of rest.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say, I don't know, let's say you go uh 50 seconds for breaststroke with fins. Okay. Well, then your interval is going to be about a minute 5, maybe a minute 10 as you get tired and the times get slower. But you want to try to stick to the interval. And most importantly, you want to keep those arms steady and count your strokes. You want to count and make sure that you're not gliding and letting the fins like help you, and take you. You don't want to
Yeah.
be doing 15 strokes when in a race you're going to be doing 26, 27, 28. You want to
Yeah.
try and get in like 25 strokes for each of those 10-50s.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Okay.
using the fins to help you with your biggest problem, which is your hips.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it.
And obviously in a 200, you're stretching it out more. You're trying to conserve and hopefully you're trying to use your strengths. Which as we get older,
But I don't do 200 of course. But
oh no,
what I
okay.
yeah, my 100 is your 200 of
Oh,
course.
yeah, I don't do the long 200 either. I gave up on the long 200. That's a different sport.
Yeah, I mean the 100 race that the video that we watched, I did what exactly just what you said. I planned
Yeah.
7 stroke, 8 stroke, and then the last is just all out. But it's like that.
Yeah,
But
but you lost your form, and so you ended up taking too many strokes at the end.
yeah, exactly. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The okay. So the last thing that maybe maybe if you can okay sometime quickly. What about like like in the In the gym, dryland, what?
Yeah.
Like, well,
Uh,
what can help?
so what are the things that I have learned really in the last like year or two is just how important core work is.
Okay.
Um, I have in the last year I've done a bit more core than I have in the past, and my core strength has always been good, but
Mm-hmm.
I've really done more to make myself stronger, and I have felt the difference in the pool and being able to have a high body position. And we always talk about core, right? We always say, "Oh, core is so important," but most of the time we just talk. It's like it's so important, but we don't actually like focus on it and work on it the way we should. The number one thing you can do is be really good at not just core, but certain types of core. So like stabilization core, where you are planking on uneven surfaces. So like, do you watch my vlogs? So like planking, essentially, where you are planking, but not on your hands are not on the ground. They're on these bands that move, and you have to they
Okay. I
shake.
got it. I
You know,
got it.
your body starts to
Ah,
shake.
I see. Yeah, I can buy that.
Um, yeah, and when you get good at them, you don't just plank, you slide your arms
Okay.
forward and then you slide
Uh-huh.
them back without touching the
Okay.
ground. Um,
Like, okay,
those
like a
kind,
of a gymnast, almost
yeah,
like a gymnast.
yeah, sit-ups are okay. A lot of the
I
the
know.
the old stuff, it's fine, but the
Okay,
best is stabilization core exercises,
I
where
see.
your body has to adjust, because in swimming your body has to make micro adjustments every single fraction of a second as it's going through the water. It's not just doing, like a sit up.
Uh-huh.
It's having to adjust left, right, forward, back, all these different directions. And so you have to do that on land. Pull-ups are a big one. Pull-ups are old school. We've always known that pull-ups are good for swimmers.
Okay.
You've got to be able to do good pull-ups. Um, uh, and then any of the like deadlift is full body. It
Yeah.
works your
Okay.
lats, it works your lower back, your hamstrings, your glutes. It's great all around.
What type of deadlift you are talking about? Like heavyweight, small number of reps, or just like many
Well, it has to be
repetitions?
different. It can't just be, one. Uh,
Ah.
you have to do you have to do heavy, low reps. I would, depending on how much you're training, like you could do some endurance lifting. Like if you're not able to swim as much as you want to, you
Mm-hmm.
could do more endurance training in the gym if you have time to do training in the gym,
Okay.
where you're doing sets of 15 to 20 reps
Okay. Yeah,
of
got it.
deadlift. But everything that you do, you want to try and do it as fast as you can. I mean, if you're doing heavy lifting, you're not going to be able to go very fast.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to attack it with that mentality of, I'm going to do this fast. Like
Yeah, the
I'm
way yeah, I saw you
I'm
do that. Yeah.
I'm going to go fast, even though it may be slow. Like you're trying to get out of that deadlift. You're trying to
Mm-hmm.
get up as quick as you can, even if it's a lot of weight. And then some speed work, which speed work is typically 3 to 5 reps. And so when you're doing speed work, yeah, you need to be like boom, 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 just popping off quick with the right amount of weight.
Okay.
You don't always want to be doing as much weight as you can, just trying to grind, grind, grind. Like sometimes
Okay.
you have to be pop off and be fast.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Um,
A lot of okay. A lot of information. I got I got it all loaded somehow. Hopefully.
and last thing before we go, be sure to work on your mobility. Okay.
Like,
The ability to move those joints
oh,
in a big range of motion,
uh-huh.
and your flexibility, because you have to, in that low back and in your hips, you've got to have a
Mhm.
lot of mobility to be able to move those joints in big ranges of motion, but also the flexibility in your back, in your lumbar, to do what you need to do.
Yeah, I get to so close, and actually the 16.14 is national record, and then
Oh,
and the 100 is just like I missed the national record by just point one.
uh,
So so actually it's like I before talking to you I wasn't this fast, of course, and this is a result of talking to you, and because
oh,
it's about to come to an end. Like my goal, my plan, my time is like it's gonna come to like next year I'm gonna move up to the another age group, and then this is not another story anymore, different story,
yeah,
right? So
yeah. Well, I'm glad I
right,
can help.
okay,
I'm glad I can
yeah,
help. Good luck with everything. Let me know if I can help,
yeah,
anytime.
good good luck for you in like well, I don't know how much do you expect from your like US trial, but I'm gonna watch that.
Well, yeah, thanks. Stay tuned, because I'm going to be posting about it on my vlog, and see what happens.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks, Nui.